CPAC. I'm Vanessa Broussard. So good to see you here with us. Thanks for being here with us. Day one, we're having a blast, and right now I'm joined by Mercedes Schlapp. So good to see you.
Good to see you. I feel like it's like our family reunion every year.
Isn't it like a family reunion? And we talked about that all morning, Mercedes, is that when you see these people, my very first CPAC, I came in, didn't know anyone, and I see lifelong friends now because I've been to several CPACs, and I just love these people. So you're absolutely right. It's like a family reunion.
Yeah, and I think it shows you, I said this earlier on the stage, which is the left wants you to feel isolated. They did this during the COVID lockdowns. It was like, you are isolated, you are in the minority, you don't matter. And I think what happens with CPAC is that you realize that you're part of something much bigger. And not only here in the United States, but it's also happening across the globe. We just had our first CPAC International Summit. Yesterday, we had over 20 countries represented, and I tell you, they kept coming up to me, they're like, can we do this in my country? Can we do this at CPAC in my country? And it's truly been an amazing phenomenon. We are taking the fight to the globalists. We are gonna make sure that they don't succeed, because we need freedom to succeed, we need democracies to succeed, and sovereignty of our nations.
And I love how you talked about the international push of CPAC across the globe, because some people may not know, Mercedes, we think CPAC here in America, but you're everywhere, and you're continuing to grow.
Yeah, and it's really been truly a gift from God. You know, we started with CPAC Japan, was our very first, and our partners have been with us for years. We've done it in Israel, we've done CPAC Hungary, which is coming up in April. And when it's CPAC Hungary, it's not just Hungary, it's all these European conservatives coming together in Hungary. We've done CPAC Australia, CPAC Brazil, CPAC Mexico, which is then we've expanded into Latin America, which is a fascinating area where we're having 2 foreign leaders speak on stage. We have President Javier Milei from Argentina, who's going to be closing off the conference. And here we're going to have President Bukele from El Salvador. And their messages are very simple. Communism will destroy your country. Socialism is a horrible ideology. And America, take warning here. You're letting these communists infiltrate America, and you've got to stop this immediately.
Let's talk about that, because I talk to, especially when I go down to Florida, and you have a lot of Cuban immigrants who come over there, and they wanted a better place for their
Venezuelans and Nicaraguans.
Yes.
It's all happening.
And they tell me that we're seeing the same thing here that we fled from, and if this happens here, where do we go? I don't have an answer. We just have to save America.
Yeah, and that's interesting. It's they're looking at America. These countries, yesterday we had the Minister of Security for Argentina, Patricia Bullrich. They are looking to America for the answers, and here we are with a bubbling president who doesn't know where he's going, what he's doing. We have a deep state that's trying to take down, think about this, take down their political opponent, take down anyone involved with the MAGA movement. I mean, this MAGA movement, these conservatives are being persecuted day in and day out by the Department of Justice, by these horrific judges, and by the Biden administration, and you've got to put an end to this. And it's why, like, we really have no other choice but to get Donald Trump elected here.
We do, and this is a very important election year, probably the most important in our lifetime. Every election is important, but this is so important. Let's talk about the importance of being involved and being active, and right here at CPAC is for people who may be here for the first time, this is a great starting point.
It is. I always feel a lot of people that, you know, Matt and I, and like you do, you talk to folks all the time, you're giving speeches, and they're like, what do I do? How can I make a difference? And I always say CPAC is a great starting point, because you're going to get your facts here. You're going to get yourself basically build with the ammunition you need to take it out, take the message out from not only CPAC but back to your communities. I cannot tell you the number of people who have decided they're going to run for local office or run for federal office after they've attended a CPAC. I can't tell you the number of people who have decided, I'm going to be a precinct captain in my district. I'm going to get involved as a poll watcher. It's because they learn the skills, they build the confidence, and then they go back to their communities and they spread the word, and they themselves build their own CPAC communities.
And I like the word you just used, confidence, because that's what people gain when they come to these events like CPAC. It's the confidence to be surrounded by people who are going to give you that push to get involved and encourage you to get involved. And also, you mentioned poll watchers. Those are so important in this election cycles. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, and look, Republicans are getting outspent like 10 to 1. And it is ridiculous to watch how we're letting Soros and these people very much try to destroy the Republican Party and really just win these elections, and we have to fight back. And there's going to be critical states like Arizona and Pennsylvania and Georgia that are going to be important in this next election. And we have to be fortified, and we've got to be chasing down those votes. We got to keep pushing, since if they have early voting, which I only believe in doing like the day of, day of, but we have early voting. How do you get our guys, you know, into a point where we are competing and we're able to win?
Yes, absolutely, and that's the key here. You know, as a mom, Mercedes, you're a mother as well. I look at my little 2-year-old at home and I think, what kind of country is he going to grow up in? If I look at what the Biden administration has done in the last 3 years, think about another 4 years of the Biden administration. And I put my baby to bed at night and I think, I'm just hoping the best for him. But I truly believe that moms are going to save this country.
I do agree. I think the parents are critical components. They have had to put up with more garbage, whether it's in their schools, whether it's this constant push of this, you know, even on social media to try to just indoctrinate these children into what I call chaos and disruption. I mean, whenever the left talks about gender affirming care, it's really gender destruction of these children. I mean, the mere fact that we're having these debates of whether a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy, and whether they're able to like watch or read sexually explicit materials at the age of like 5, we've got major issues. The family is having to defend its ground and push back against the insanity of the left. And you wonder, how did we lose this so quickly? And the reality is you do lose it quickly.
I'm already having to watch the cartoons that my child watches, and there's a certain episode on one cartoon I'll skip right through. I'll fast forward it because I know it's teaching your child you can be anything you want to be, a girl or a boy, and he's 2.
Yes.
And so you just have to watch, and it all starts at home. Also, it's what you see on TV, and I think CPAC does a great job of making sure fake news isn't around at these events. And so people need to watch the importance of fake news versus a place where conservatives can get real news.
Yes. I mean, one of the phenomenons of CPAC, and I really have to say, you know, my husband's been chairman for 8 years, and we've seen it. The growth of alternative media. The mere fact is that now Americans have the choice. They get to choose who they're going to, you know, what they're going to be able to watch, what they listen to, what they read. It's no longer this legacy media that we know is so biased. We have to understand that the leftists, they have completely created a propaganda machine to basically shame you if you are an American patriot or a MAGA supporter, and they just literally regurgitate the talking points of the left. And we have an opportunity here with this alternative media to say, you don't have to watch that garbage anymore. The same way we tell our children, you don't have to watch the garbage anymore. We are empowered now to basically push our message. And what you realize is, like, anyone can become the blogger or the journalist. If you have that strong opinion that you want to talk about, that is what is the beauty of this new alternative media.
And it is, you know, when President Trump came out with the words fake news, I was actually working in mainstream media at the time, and I would tell people, this is not just a slogan. I live this, I breathe this, I see this every single day. It truly is. And thank the Lord above, I landed here at Right Side Broadcasting Network because it is that alternative where they are aligned with my beliefs. They want family, they want faith, they want freedom, and that's what we should all want. You would think it would be easy.
Pretty basic, right?
You would think. And
but then they want you to feel guilty if you talk about God, or they want you to feel like you're wrong if you're talking about your faith. And it's like, no, you know what? I'm an American. I'm going to be able to worship freely. I'm going to be able to raise my kids the way I want to raise them. And guess what, government? Guess what, you authoritarian figures? Stay out of my business.
Yes, absolutely. And mine too. Real quick, I know you're a busy woman today, a lot going on. Let's talk about the shows on CPAC now.
Yeah. Well, we have our show, Matt and I, which we need to have you on. It'd be so fun.
I would love to have come.
It's America Uncanceled, and we have an opportunity to talk to really the influencers of the conservative movement. And we really try to keep it as newsy as possible in making sure that people know that this is what's happening in, you know, in our country, in the globe. We also have It's Not About You with Elaine Beck. It's a faith-based show. Really, I think at this point in time, we need prayer more than anything else. And the Bill Walton Show, which he is brilliant. I always say he's like the intellect of the whole crew. He really dives deeply into the issues that matter, really talks to a lot of the, I would say, the intellects of the conservative movement. And we're continuing to expand. So it's really exciting what we've been able to create there.
And how can people watch?
You go to cpac.org to watch. And we've got an incredible response, and we're continuing to push out content, which, as you know, content's king, and you got to be able to talk about your message. It's really important.
All right, Mercedes Schlapp, so good to see you. Thanks for
Thank
stopping
you.
by.
It's
Thanks
great
for putting
to see
on this
you.
wonderful event. Like I said, it's one of my favorite of the year. Can't wait for it.
Yes.
As soon as you put the schedule out, I'm marking on my calendar
Awesome.
because I won't
Yes.
schedule anything else during CPAC. All right,
That's
I'm Vanessa
fantastic.
Broussard. We're live here at CPAC. We'll be right back. Stay with us.